Alright, so let's continue on with our hand model that we have over here. So let me just go ahead and fill up this area over here. That's the next thing that we're gonna do. So let me just extrude it up to here, right? And let me just move these vertices along some paths here. I push these guys up a bit. You just want to make sure that there's a bit of an arc that goes along over here, right? So this is we're supposed to be looking from it this way, right? So this is where the arc is supposed to be really created. This bumpiness over here on this side here, maybe I just push it up. Again, sometimes I'll go ahead and be distracted, I guess, and move the vertices on another thing that I'm not supposed to be working on. But sometimes we just see that mistake later on, so you gotta do it there and then. But anyways, let's go ahead and extrude this guy and fill in the gap to make hole here. Now let me just merge these vertices up here. Let me do it correctly, and this one's as well. Right, so just press 3 there to just see if it all matches up as they should. Let's just push and pull some of these vertices together. Alright, just want to make sure that this guy is more or less where it needs to be. Let me just bring up my hand top here. Right, so I know that some of these guys here kind of need to align itself better to whatever we have over here. So let me just bring this guy in here. So I know this guy here has to go, sorry, this edge here has to go somewhere here, and these edges here kind of fill up the gap, just that bit there. And this guy's can kind of like go up a bit more, right? Then maybe I'll put one more to bridge in the gap, but at least it's getting there. Of course, there's still some work to be done, but at least I'm getting the shape more or less relatively there. So perhaps I might even need to push it in, but I'll do that later on. Let's just fill up the gap over here. Let's isolate this guy again, and probably want to fill the hole here. Right, so we got the hole filled, as you can see over here. And I'm gonna use the multi-cut tool again to cut through these areas here. So that goes this way, and this one will go this way. Alright, so let's just push and pull some of these vertices to get it a bit more in line to where we need it to be. Right, more or less there. And I'm just gonna create that part for the palm where he has to push this one out a bit more. Yep, just like so. Alright, so we got that two area of the palms out. Let me just go back here, see what else we can do. Let's fill up this gap over here in this area, and then after that I guess we can try to get the thumb, get it matching up to the thumb as well over here. And then from there I think I will start to work on this guy back again, and then later on we'll see how we can push and pull things to make it more combined and make it more like a hand. Alright, so let's continue with this guy, and I'm just gonna do this area next over here. Right, so same thing again. Basically I'm just gonna extrude this guy, and for this one we'll probably need to add an extra line here this way, and this one is going to be merged here. Alright, so let me just press 3 to make sure everything is okay. There might be some changes later on, because when we go ahead and merge it with the other guys, the one on the top hand, then we'll see if there's some error or anything that needs to be fixed. But for now I'm just going to leave it like this, and I'm going to merge it here. Right, so you know the drill. It's basically we're adding stuff, adding lines, moving along, moving across where we need it to be, and then pushing and pulling these vertices until we're satisfied. And sometimes if we're not satisfied, then well, then that would be a major issue, wouldn't it? Well, let me just go ahead and fill this hole and start to push and pull some of this. Alright, so let's start and push and pull some of these guys here and get the shape out. Alright, so again, you just want it to kind of conform to whatever we have over here. Alright, and try to move it to a proper position. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with that. Let me just go ahead and soften the edges. Oops, sorry, it's not the right one. We'll go and soften the edges. Alright, just want to make sure things are looking okay. Let's bring out this guy again. So we can kind of start to figure out how this thing is going to be merged together, but before that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to continue with the top hand over here. So I have my bottom here, so let's go and bring my top guy over here, and then after I'm going to start to continue to extrude this guy over here. Alright, so we're going to extrude these guys over here. So I want to do it somewhere up to here, and then we can start to merge the top and bottom pieces together. So let's move these guys this way, right there. And I don't need a line over here because I didn't draw a line over there, but what I can do is I can go ahead and pop that edge downwards here, and I'm just going to extrude it this way, probably a couple of times. And then we'll start to push and pull and move these guys into place. Right, more or less where they need to be. Alright, now let's go ahead and extrude it this way. All the way to somewhere over here. Right, so for these guys, maybe I'll go ahead and extrude this one first. Let me just bring this one down. I just want to cover up that line over there. Yeah, we'll go ahead and merge them and draw a line out this way and pull it out a bit. Let's go ahead and make sure we merge them as well. Alright, so let me kind of pull it out just a bit there. And let's go ahead and soften the edges. Alright, so this guy can go all the way here. And yeah, same thing again, we're starting to add lines where we need them to be. And then we'll start to push and pull them around as usual. So for this one, it's a bit unique, I guess, because from over here it's tries to reduce the number of lines that it has. So it goes somewhat like that, right? And then there is one line that goes this way across. And we'll start to, let me just do it the simpler way with the pen to polygon tool. Let's do that again. There we go. Right, so let me go ahead and fill this hole here, and let me just move these guys around a bit more. Okay, so the idea here, it kind of needs to be more or less of a circle, or it needs to start to become a more cylindrical shape right over here, right? So I guess we need to add more lines later on, but first let's try to merge these guys up and pull this down a bit more. Alright, so we'll starting to create that arc over here, right? So let's use the pen to polygon tool and pen where it's necessary, and again I'll push and pull some of these faces down to make it conform to the shape that we need. And let's go ahead and fill the hole. Right, so I'll go ahead and just join the lines where they need to be. Let's just see it from over here. I guess we can see it better this way around. Right, and I will just push and pull some of these vertices into place. Alright, so let's continue to match this up over here where it's necessary. So again, just following the lines and matching up the two corresponding edges. Alright, so once we're done with that, let's go ahead and soften our edges, and let's go and push and pull some of these vertices to make it look a bit more squarish, or sorry, a bit more circle-ish, I guess, so it can conform to the shape a bit more nicer, I guess. Right, so there's a bit extra vertices, that a bit more vertices than I would like, but at least it's getting the mesh to look clean and nice, so I'm not gonna complain too much. So what I'm gonna do is just to move some of these guys to again make it look a bit more centered, a bit more circular, so that it will really look like the hands over here. Right, and again, some of these things here we can go ahead and do it in ZBrush should we need to. Right, but for now I think this is more or less okay. So what we'll do next is we'll try to bring in all of our mesh over here, these two guys here, and try to bring them together. Alright, so let's just delete the history, and I'm just gonna hide the rest of these things that we have over here. And of course there's some discrepancies and there are some things that's just a bit off, so I'm just going to try to make the move them along these lines over here and try to match up as best as we can. Let's bring our lines up here, and we're going to start to combine them and line up where we can line up. So what I think I'm going to do is to first delete some of these faces that we have over here. Right, so let's go ahead and delete them, and let me just merge or combine these two together. Right, so from here I can start to at least identify how I'm going to merge them. So I think I'll leave one gap of line over here. Right, and I will start to merge from these two onwards. Right, so these guys are going to be merged together instead of merging it over there. You just have to read the line and just do some approximation on where those two lines meet, and then we'll try to merge them as best as we can. So I'll go from perhaps the inside would be better. It's clearer to see anyway. So let's go ahead and merge them where it needs to be merged. Right, so maybe here it needs a line to go across. I'm just going to skip that for now, and I'm going to merge the rest of these guys here, as well as this one over here. Alright, so like I said, there might need to be a line that goes across this way. We'll see how, or you might need to delete one line instead, or reroute that line. So not too worried about that for now. So for this one over here, let's try to Again, I'm going to leave a gap there, and I'm just going to, there's several ways for us to do this. We can even use a pen polygon tool, so I think I'll use that instead and try to merge up some of these lines over here. So I have that settled, and let's see, maybe we'll have one more here. Right, so this is a perfect opportunity for me to create that line. I believe it goes this way, that's right, because these guys need to be merged up, and that would allow me to continue to create my polygon mesh. Right, so maybe this one will go here, and let's fill the hole for this one. Right, so we have two corresponding one over here. Let's go ahead and continue with this that way. Alright, so that is kind of okay for now, and now I'm just going to push and pull some of these vertices around to make sure that the lines are more or less there. You might even need to reroute some of these guys here by using our multi-cut tool. I probably want to move this to be a bit more closer that way, right, so that I can delete this guy off. Alright, so just take your time to inspect your whole model at this point, and let's move, merge where they need to be merged. You just merge these guys over here. Right, and again push and pull some of them to make it more organic, not too staggered, not too stiff. Let's try to make it look more natural as we can get it to be. Alright, let me just soften the edge right over there. Okay, great. So next thing is we'll try to fill up this gap over here, and we want to try to create as much of a circle, or at least try to get it more like a circle over here, so that it can be extruded inside. And then we also have the thumb to do next. So from over here, I believe I can go ahead and just draw up that line that ways, and I think I can do it for this one as well. Same goes here. Alright, and let's see if we can try to pull some of these guys up so that it follows the shape of a proper thumb. And maybe I'll add a line that way. Push this one out a bit. And let's go ahead and merge this to somewhere. Maybe this guy over here is good. And fill the hole here. Right, and let's just draw a line across this way. Alright, so everyone's 4 quads and everyone is more or less in their proper position. Right, so let's just again, now is the time to push and pull stuff, make sure everything kind of falls into place where we need it to be. Right, traditional modeling. Again, these things can be done in ZBrush, and I perhaps might revisit this again in ZBrush, but at least things are topologically correct and we can move on from there. Alright, so gonna start to fill up some of this hole over here. Now before I do that, let me just give it some space. Alright, so I believe that some of these edges and vertices are a bit too close to the original source, so I'm just going to move them back a bit more, right, so that you will be able to at least match up. Alright, we'll try to match it up as best as we can. Alright, let's see, maybe some of these guys can kind of like go down a bit more, right over here, just a bit. And you know what to do. We'll just have to select our, oops, not that one, select our pen to polygon tool, and let's just go ahead and append everyone where they need to be. Alright, so they just follow their corresponding edges, and we'll just go ahead and do this all around. Now sometimes when we come across this situation and we're not sure where to follow, what I'll tend to do is I'll just skip that for now. I'm just going to go more to the important parts, right, like this one, because it's obviously there's two over there and it needs to be connected to each other. So I'll go ahead and do that one first. For these ones as well. Right, now for these guys over here, it's actually pretty obvious to bring these two together, it seems. And there is an issue over here where there's a bit of a line and we're not sure what to do. Again, I'm just gonna ignore that for now, right? And we have the same issue over here as well, where again things start to be a bit more edgy on where things are supposed to go, but it's okay. I'm just gonna continue what we can. What's the more obvious choice? We'll just go and do that first. So usually this is how I would tackle the problem. I'll just go ahead and I'll just leave them as triangles for now, and then later on I'll come in and address that situation, since we're gonna have quite a few of these triangles moving around here and there. So for this one again, see, I'm forced to have a triangle right over there. Now let me just go ahead and soften the edges, and let's try to fix it wherever we can get it to be fixed, really. I guess what I'll do is I'll kind of delete back some of these guys here. Alright, maybe not that one, probably I'll just delete this one instead. And I just want to try to get rid of some of these triangles that we have over here, and instead what I'll do is I'll go ahead and fill the hole. Right, so I'll fill the hole for everyone that is over here. Maybe I'll delete this one here and just fill it as a one hole instead, like that. And then from here I'll start to figure out how I can reroute the lines best. So maybe what I can do is I can kind of like create a triangle here, create a triangle here, and then I can draw a line this way so it becomes 4 each. Right, so we can kind of say that this is solved. And we'll draw a line this way, and same thing again goes for here. Have a triangle this way, and this usually happens in between the fingers over here. And we'll start to draw a line across this straight over here, so it'll be similar to what we have over here. And then we can start to maybe move these guys around a bit more, so it will look a bit more like a square. Same goes for this one here, triangle here, triangle this way. Right, so sometimes it just doesn't want to, so let me just ignore that for now and try to get one here. Okay, so this will go here. Now there's a line over here that I might need to have an extra line across this way, so I'll go ahead and add that line for now. Need to move for these vertices around a bit more later on, but let's try to create that triangle again. Sometimes it depends on many situations, because Maya thing might not accept because there's not enough lines and stuff like that. So let's just delete this for now, and I'm gonna use my pen to polygon tool. Let's try to fix this as best as we can. And let's try to fill the hole with this one. Right, so that's another way of solving it. And I'll draw a line across here. Same thing again, you have to kind of move these guys around a bit more. And then I'll create a line to end here. Right, let's go ahead and soften the edge as well. Okay, so everything is more or less connected, but that's far from over. There's actually quite a bit for us to do to push and pull some of these vertices to make sure that everyone is in line, and the shape still maintains like a shape and there's nothing that is off. So that's what I'm going to do next, especially in some of this area. If I were to press 3 and leave it alone, I'm not really too pleased with some of these knuckle areas over here. So these areas kind of need to be moved forward and backwards a bit more. Right, so just push them up, and again it's trying to get that knuckle area, or the area that conforms to the knuckle area, a bit more obvious. So again, you can spend about 10-15 minutes. I won't suggest you spend any longer than that to kind of push and pull some of these vertices and try to get it as best looking to the shape as we can. Again, like I said, don't spend too much time on it, because at the end of the day, some of these things that you just can't fix in Maya, you just have to bring it to ZBrush and get the right shape out. But whatever we can do, we'll try to do, and then we'll move on. Alright, so I think I'm pretty happy with that. Now let's just delete the history, and let me bring everyone back. Probably I'll use the top for this one. So let's hide these two, and next thing we're going to do is the thumb, which is right over here. So let me just extrude them. Same thing again. I want to push and pull some of this across, and I want to straighten this out and rotate this a bit more. Right, so this is the line where that starts to create the thumb kind of twist about this way, right, which would help to create this bottom side over here. So probably want to add one line this way, and then just make sure it goes out that way. Right, so for this part here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude this line here, because I know the nail somewhat is going to be somewhere there, and I will start to extrude it across this way to make it all the way down, to go all the way down. Alright, so we need to make sure that this goes more downwards, and then after that we'll start to pull it along, maybe up to here, I guess. Depends on how you want it to be, but I think that is a good place for us to end it. So just extrude it a couple of times and merge where they need to be merged. And then again we'll play by ear and try to move them around. Maybe add one more line this way. Alright, so that's going to be my thumb area. So that will allow me to go ahead and I guess fill the hole, but maybe before I fill the hole, I'll go and extrude this one more time, and then I'll fill the hole. I feel it's just a bit too far away from each other. Alright, so let's go ahead and merge these guys. Right across here, that way, and I'll kind of move this into position. Maybe I'll just quickly end it here. Like again, I want to just create scaffoldings and just want to make sure that things line up as fast as I can get it to line up, and then later on I'll deal with that later, deal with the other gaps and stuff later on. So that's usually my way of doing things. If you find another way of doing it, please by all means go ahead. Now I'm just going to add a line there so that everyone will become 4. And again, let's fill the hole where necessary. I guess some of these guys are not merged properly. So let's go and try to merge them where we can get it to merge. Oh, seems that this line here is still some issue somewhere, but it's okay. Let's go ahead and use a pen to polygon or something instead. Alright, that seems to solve the problem. and let's try to create the thumb next. So I'm just going to extrude it inwards. So we don't want to extrude it that way, so what I'll probably do is I'll just bring it down to the center and then push it out a bit. Alright, so let's go ahead and fill this hole and start to draw the lines, and then we should have a basic shape for the thumb. Hopefully it wants to accept. There we go. Now from over here we might have some issues here and there, so again Maya is a bit confused on how to best place some of this, so that's usually the issue. I believe in 2017, in 2016 is a bit more relaxed on this, so let's just delete it away now, and instead I'll just use the append to polygon tool and try to get as much of these guys done as possible. Alright, so let's try to see if this can be. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sided, so probably need to just fill the hole first, and then we'll deal with that accordingly. Maybe I'll make do with one triangle somewhere there. Alright, so again it still doesn't seem to want to accept this, so perhaps you have to reroute it somewhere over here instead. Alright, so that works for now. Again, we need to adjust this later on. So the next part I'll go ahead and adjust and move the vertices around, and let's just go ahead and soften these edges. I'll just go ahead and move this around. So the thumb area here is a bit too fat, so just have to be worried about that. Alright, so we'll go ahead and adjust this later on, and then we'll make this area a bit more circle, and just have a final check on everything before we actually pass this on to finish the hand. Alright, so in this part, what I'm going to do is I just want to have a final inspection on the hand, and I just want to make sure that the shape, just the shape first, to make sure that they are more or less aligned to what we need it to be, and pull and push some of these vertices where it will look a bit more natural, a bit more realistic, I guess, to the shape that we need it to be. So that's what I'm gonna do next. Alright, so I'm just going to go around and inspect that and really push and pull. Try to, maybe for you on your end, can spend about 10 to 15 minutes on this. For me, I'll just do it real quick to see where are the areas that is more important and try to fix that. Alright, so like I said, you can spend about 10 to 15 minutes on this area here and try to get it as best looking as you want it to be. But for me, I'm not going to spend too much time, and again, like I said, some of these things we can kind of fix in ZBrush, which we will do in the second series of this tutorial. But for now, I'm more or less pretty happy with how things are. Just have to adjust some of these guys to make it look a bit more conformed, and then after that we'll move on. So I just want to make sure that some of these areas over here, they're not too thick like how it was earlier. I just want to make sure the arcs are properly done. Alright, and then after that we can continue on. And so for these guys over here at the bottom here, let me just quickly do a pen. So append this one over here. Right, and then what I want to do is I just want to make sure that this guy here looks a bit more circular in nature. So that's what I will do for this guy and this guy here as well. Just want to make sure that things are a bit more conform and circular and things like that. Right, so where I need it to be, I'll just push and pull it a bit better. Alright, and I'll go ahead and extrude it one more time outwards, and this time again I want to make it really more like a circle, and then it will start to expand a bit more later on. But I just want to make it really as circular as I can get it to be before we move along. Alright, so let's go ahead and soften the edges and delete the history on this guy. Right, now what I'll do is let's bring everyone back, and probably I can delete these layers, or maybe instead of deleting it, what I'll do is I just put everyone in one layer and delete the other layer. Right, and what I want to do is I just want to shape it and make sure it is in position so that I can see how it looks like with the rest of the body. That's what we'll do. Go ahead and shape it to where it needs to be. Right, so if I need to, I just squeeze some of these guys a bit more inwards. Alright, so now I can start to see how they look like and whether how much I need to adjust. So I think the hand needs to be a bit more bigger there. Right, so I can kind of look at how the proportion is and how we can adjust accordingly to the needs of this character and how it's supposed to pull in properly inside here. So maybe make it just slightly a bit more smaller here. Alright, so I guess I'm pretty happy with that. There might be some issues with the proportion because I really like this one to be a bit more bigger, so we'll try to fix that later on by using a lattice or something like that. So that would be on the next part. Alright, so let's go ahead and readjust these areas here first. Let me just hide them, and what I want to do is I want to quickly create a deformer lattice, right, and expand some of these lines here. Okay, and the idea is basically I just want to make sure that the arms and stuff like that are a bit bigger, right, because I really want to make sure that the proportion is right and nailed down a bit better. So there are some things that I can push and pull, so I'll go ahead and do that first. I just want to make sure that things are a bit more proper for these guys here, and overall just like move some distance away and kind of see what are the things that needs to adjust. This is the right opportunity for you to do so. Alright, so I think I'm pretty happy with that, but things might not work out when we bring everyone back together. Hopefully they do. Right, so things are still more or less intact. I was afraid that some of these muscles might pop out, but we're more or less okay, and the proportion is a bit better now, I believe. We're giving a bit more meat and strength to the character's arms, so that's a good sign, I believe. Now let's go ahead and kind of move these guys into position a bit better. Right, so now the idea is that I'm just going to extrude this all the way inside here. So I'm going to push it in and make sure it kind of sits neatly inside that area that we have created for this character. If you need to, we'll go ahead and squeeze some of these areas in, as if you really need to, and just want to make sure that these are not pulled out unnecessarily. So let's just try to push some of these vertices inwards. Alright, let me just hide this guy for now. There's still some areas here I believe that we can reroute the lines a bit better. So that's what I'm gonna do next. You should have probably wanna have done this earlier on, but it's okay. We can still fix these mistakes later on. It doesn't really matter. It's just when you wanna fix it. That's all. So I just wanna move some of these lines that you see are clustering over here. I want to move him a bit closer to where we are. Again, that's just a bit extra lines than I would normally like to, but it's okay, we can make do with this. And in the case of modeling, it's not the more edges or more lines the merrier. It's just we need to have the right amount of lines that fits the needs of the character, of course. Let's delete this. And again, we can kind of push and pull some of these guys a bit more. Okay, there's plenty of space over on the top side over here, and that's where I have issues where I believe that you need to bring them closer to those lines instead, and just make sure that things are more properly spaced out. Alright. So here is where I can kind of pull it out a bit more. Again, you just need to have you just need to see where things are and try to get it done as best as you can. Soften this edge over here. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with that. Here you can kind of like push and pull some of these lines a bit more to make it look more like a circle. And if you really want to, you can kind of like bring it around this way. And if you're really OCD about things, you can just go and create a cylinder and snap everyone to there, but I'm not really that OCD. Might be, but I don't think I'll do it. So let's try to get as much of these edges in, and maybe I'll extrude it one more time to go this way. And there's a lot of space over here. Just want to exploit as much of the space as we can, and just want to make sure that things are a bit more straightened out this way. Same goes for here. Just want to make sure things are a bit more straightened out. And yeah, some of these areas need to be pulled in a bit more. Right, just as long as it covers that area, we should be fine. So there we go. That's our hand. Now maybe I want to do is I want to create a lattice, and I just feel the hand is still a bit too small, and I want to kind of get that sorted out. I'll just try to get the thing sorted out, and basically just want to make sure that some of these guys are a bit bigger in some of these areas over here. That's a bit too big. Let's try to make some of this a bit more tapered. Alright, just as long as it follows the shape, I'm happy. And delete the history on that. Alright, so we're more or less done with our hand. Later when we do a final inspection of the whole model, we might revisit some of these parts again over here. But pretty happy with the outcome there. We got the nice line, nice crease all going that proper way, stuff like that. Yeah, so let's go ahead and delete the history. Make sure you save your work. You don't want Maya to crash on you. And let me just rewrite some of this over here and get them to go across. Again, I'm just doing it a very lazy way by grouping them and pushing it the other side. Later on we'll go ahead and we need to do a lot of cleanup really for this one, a whole bunch of cleanups, but we'll do it in the last part. So I just want to move it to the other side and see how they look like. Alright, so pretty happy with that. And the next part we'll start to create the head. Alright, we're finding the last leg.